that chose to not ride the Sea Dog today. All right, so on the count of 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Thank you all so much. When I go to bed tonight, I can sleep at ease, knowing that my hearing is correct. Now, testing my theory. We're just going to go through a few rules, not too many, 75 to get them really quick. We're going to get through it quick. Rule number 1. No standing. But that's pretty simple because your seatbelts are already on. And it's kind of hard to stand with a 47-ton boat strapped to your backside. So if your seatbelt is not fastened, I'm going to ask that you fasten it now, as it is a requirement of the Sea Dog. Rule number 2. No smoking. Man. No smoking, okay? Now, last time I checked, fire and fuel really don't mix too well. So, if I should happen to see smoke coming out of your pockets, coming out of your ears, or just in your general vicinity, I'm going to assume that you're on fire. And for your own safety, I'm going to have to put that fire out the quickest way I know how. So, please, no smoking. Rule number 3, no littering. Fish don't like it, I don't like it, and the Coast Guard really does not like it. If they should happen to see you throwing trash overboard, they will pull us over, they will slap you with a fine, you're my example. Okay. Then they're gonna slap me with a fine because I let you do it. Then I'm gonna have to slap you because I got slapped with the fine. You're probably gonna slap me back in self-defense. They're gonna start slapping each other. He's gonna start slapping himself. You knew what was coming. So to avoid all of the chaos, let's just not litter. Rule number 4. Now this rule only applies to a few of you today. If you are seated next to one of the guardrails, please raise your hand. If you're seated next to one of the not next to a guardrail. If you're seated next to one of the guardrails, please raise your hand. This rule is specifically for you. Now, when we are out there going really fast, please don't stick your arms through the railings. Don't stick your head through the railing. Don't stick your legs through the railing. Don't even lean on the railing. If you should happen to hit a particularly rough wave, it's not going to feel good, right? It's not going to tickle. And in fact, you'll probably go home with your very own personal souvenir that you'll have for about 3 to 4 days until that swelling goes down. So please don't lean on the rails during that section. Now, there's one final rule. It's not officially in the handbook yet, but I'm working to get it. Now, the last rule, rule number 5, is you must, without a shadow of a doubt, have fun. If you don't have fun, I'm going to look up at Captain Mark. I'm going to say, Captain Mark, turn the boat around, take us back. We got to get us a better group. And he will do it, okay? So, without further ado, let's get on with our tour. If everyone can look over to your right, we have the Ritz-Carlton Luxury Condos. And yes, sir, you do have to say it like that each time you say it. The Ritz-Carlton Luxury Condos. Now, for these condos to be luxury condos, they're actually priced rather reasonably. They start at a mere $500,000. You know, nothing too major. Pretty sure you have that in your pocket. I wouldn't go announcing that publicly, but you probably have that. Now, if they start at $500,000, any guesses as to how high they go? Any guesses? 2 million? 3 million? 5 million. 5 million? Any other guesses? $1? $1, ma'am? $1?
$1 for some water.
Now they start at $500,000. And they go all the way up to the 6th floor. Now if you like that joke, you're in the right place because I have so so many more just as good. Now they start at $500,000 and they go up to about $7 million. Now, famous author Tom Clancy, some of you may know him for some of the video games released, Splinter Cell, a few other video games like that. Famous author Tom Clancy at one point purchased the entire top floor. He was spending about $14 million essentially to have somewhere to sleep. Now, if you're spending that much money on a place to live, you're probably going to make some minor adjustments to it, you know, to make it feel more like home, right? So what he did was, he said, just to make my condo feel more like home, I'm going to put a fully functioning gun range into my condo. So he built a gun range right into his condo. But if you're spending $14 million to live at a place, the property managers probably aren't telling you no at all. So those were the Ritz-Carlton luxury condos. See, I told you how to say it like that. Now, I know this young lady right here is probably thinking, this is the slowest speedboat ride I have ever been on. Pretty sure you can probably swim faster than what we're going right about now. Now the reason we're going as slow as we are, which is about 6 knots, is because we are in what is called a no-wake zone. So if you look over to your right, there's going to be boats in the water. And if you look over to your left, there are boats in the water. And if you look ahead of you, you will see boats in the water because most people keep their boats in the water. That's kind of where they're supposed to be. But some of these boats have expensive items on them. Some people live in these boats. They might have flat screen TVs. They might have PlayStation 4s. They might have expensive vases. And if you're fancy, vases. Now, because of these items, they've reduced the speed in this area so that we don't create larger waves or larger wakes. Because those larger waves create more motion in the boats. And that additional motion can potentially damage people's items. So in order to avoid this scenario, they've just reduced the speed. And that's why we're going as slow as we can. Now on to the next item in our tour. We're coming up on the Domino Sugars building. Now, the Domino Sugars building, one of the more noticeable things about the building itself is the sign on top of the building. Now, that sign is a fully functioning neon sign, and in fact, it is the largest single-colored neon sign in America, and the 5th largest neon sign in general on the East Coast. Now, like I said, that sign is large. That sign is massive. That sign is 120 feet by 70 feet. You can fit 4 F-35 fighter jets, tip-to-tip, wing-to-wing, in that space and still have space to move around. You can fit the entire infield from Camden Yard into those dimensions and still have room to move around in. Now, if you look at the D in Domino, that on its own is 40 feet tall. Now, the smallest thing on that sign is the dot above the eye. Not the entire eye, just the dot above the eye. And that's 6'4". Dang! Anybody on this boat 6'4"? Other than me? Other than me, anybody else 6'4"? I knew it was going to be a few. You see? I'm going to have to make sure y'all have your glove cards. Now, the Domino Sugars building was originally constructed in 1920, and they still refine sugar to this very day. Now, luckily for you all, today is shipment day. Now, I know this gentleman over here is saying, well, how do you know it's shipment day? You know it's shipment day because there's a ship right in front of the building. That is how you tell. Now, of course, the sugar ship, as we call it. The sugar ship comes in about once a week or so. And as you can see, this one is slightly two-tone. There's a darker red coloration on top and a lighter coloration on the bottom. When the sugar ship first comes in, it will be so full of sugar that you won't see that bottom color at all. It will be that heavily weighed down with sugar. Now, when the sugar first comes in, it's called unrefined sugar. It's brown sugar. Sorry, don't mind me. I always laugh at that because they used to call me that at my last job. But we're not going to get into that right now. We're not going to get into that right now. We're for Sea Dogs. We're talking about the sugar ship. Now, when it comes in, it'll be unrefined brown sugar. So it'll look look a lot more like sand versus the white table sugar you put in your teas, your coffees, or other beverages. Now, the blue structures behind the ship, those are the cranes. They'll reach down into the ship, they'll scoop up about 500 pounds of sugar at a time, and they'll have it sent into the building to be processed. Now we're coming up right over here on your right on the next point in our tour. Would anybody like to take a guess as to what area this is called? Under Armour, sir? Under Armour. You, sir, are 100% wrong. What is it called? We actually call this area Tide Point because the previous owners of this building were Procter & Gamble. And of course they make such fine products as Tide, Dawn, Gain, Joy. They make a lot of those cleaning detergents and solutions. But it does have Under Armour on top of the building now because it is the national headquarters for the Under Armour Corporation. So I'll probably give you half credit for that. Yeah, that's right. Now, right over in past these two glass doors, one of them is open, one of them is closed, is the Under Armour Gym. A membership to that gym costs about $75 to $85 a month. A lot of famous athletes have memberships to that gym, and regular people have memberships to that gym as well. And in fact, at one point, I had a membership to that very gym. But notice I said at one point I had a membership to that gym. Okay, so what had happened was I was in there minding my business, doing my squat, and one of the managers comes up to me and says, "Yeah, we're going to have to ask you now to come back to squat." What did I do? They said, "Well, apparently your physique is way too intimidating." Right there, my physique was way too intimidating to the professional athletes. They couldn't focus on their workout plans. People started losing games. It was a really big deal. So now I just do Pilates at home. Anybody know anything about Pilates? If you don't, look it up. You know this one right here. It'll get you around. Now, by show of hands, has anyone ever played the game of Monopoly? Anybody? Most of us, right? Now, here's the real question. How many of you have finished a game of Monopoly? Yeah, that would have so weird. But if you look over to your right at those two brown structures, that is the end of the real life B&O Railroad. And growing up playing Monopoly like most of us did, I never bought the B&O Railroad system. I never bought it. Because I thought the B&O was just a body on it. And then one of my friends talking about BTs and anything like that. So I just didn't buy it. But in fact, the B&O stands for Baltimore and Ohio. So that railroad system goes as far as Northeast New York, and it goes all the way out to Baltimore. Now, I hope you all have roads, but not English. Spectacles, bifocals, trifocals, monocles, anything that will help you see. Right over here, if you squint your eyes and look really hard, you'll see right over in this area two tiny, right there, gray ships. Anybody see those tiny gray ships? Now, these two tiny gray ships are part of the Ready Reserve fleet. They are the Antares and Zenemola. Now, the whole point of these ships is to just sit there. They sit there and they wait for natural disasters to happen or bad things to happen, and they go provide humanitarian. So, these ships actually helped out in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. Some of the ships from the West Coast of the Ready Reserve fleet helped out in Japan after the tsunami. Now, when these ships were called, or when they get the information that, hey, we need you to come and help the people or something like that, I believe you will help them. Within 30 days, they are fully manned, fully stocked with all kinds of items and ready to distribute about anywhere in the world. They can be fully stocked with all types of things: food, water, blankets, Miller Lite and Gushers fruit snacks, whatever people need. And yes, man, for the record, Miller Lights and Gushers fruit snacks are very vital in emergency situations. You heard it here first, okay? Make sure you stock up on it. Now, Baltimore not only has a sugar ship, Baltimore also has a salt ship. As you can see right over to your right, there are large mounds of the sand-like substance. That's actually salt. When the salt ship comes in and will dock with sweetness to pier, they'll dump also then fill large dump trucks. Those dump trucks then go to my great aunt Myrtle's house, where she proceeds to put the entire complex into her. She's 97, I just don't have the heart to tell her that she's up on the phone a little bit. But, not even gonna get into that right now. When those trucks are filled, they actually take the salt over to those mounds in the store. Or when we have snowstorms, ice storms and blizzards, they'll take it and they'll go salt the streets. I think it's transfer for all of them travel back and forth. Now, right over here, we have, at Pier 3, we have the Maryland Port Administration. Everyone say, hi, Maryland Port Administration. Okay, let's try that again. I didn't see how to do it. Hi, Maryland Port Administration. So I just got all of you guys to wave at a building with no windows. Thank you. Now, the Maryland Port Administration runs the tugboat company. So right over here, we have a few examples of those tugboats. Now, when these larger ships, like the sugar ship, the salt ship, the Ready Reserve fleet, when those larger ships need to enter the harbor, the tugboats guide them in safely, and when they need to leave, they will guide them out safely, making sure they don't run into salmon, rocks, anything of that nature. Now, coming up on your right, there's a group of trees. Does anyone know what that area is? Does anyone know why Fort McHenry is famous? Yep. Now, Fort McHenry is famous because it is the birthplace of what we now know as the Stars Transatlantic. So, what we're going to do right now, we are going to go on a historical journey right now. We are literally going to travel through time right in this very moment. So, what I need everyone to do, I need everybody to close your eyes. Now, open your eyes. I just wanted to see if you were doing this. Now, picture it. It's the War of 1812. Francis Scott Key is a little further out on the water, and he's on one of these Royal British Navy ships. Now, he's on that ship because he's trying to negotiate the release of one of his friends. Now, the British said, well, you say you're here to negotiate for your friend, but for all we know, you're really like to be a spy. So they decided to keep him as their guest. Get it? Yeah. And on the morning of September 15, 1814, Francis Scott Key came out to the top deck of the vessel he was on. He borrowed somebody's spyglass because he wasn't expected to be there that long, and as the sun came over the horizon, he saw that wonderful sight right there. He saw that the flag was still there. See what that is? Now, the importance of the flag still being there meant that the fort had not fallen. He knew that Baltimore was still safe, and that the Americans had not lost the battle. So because of that, he was so moved, he was so inspired, that he wrote a poem that he entitled The Defense of Fort McHenry. Now, he later gave that poem to his brother-in-law, who paired it up with him, ironically, an old English tune entitled To an Afternoon in Heaven. And he went and got a printed, and those became the first copies of the Star Spangled Banner. Now, March 3rd of 1931, President Herbert Hoover signed the law, making it officially our nation's anthem. Now, one of the most important items on this tour is that marker right there with the 6 on it. That means we have now left the no-wait zone. So, who's ready for a speedboat ride? Stop the boat, stop the boat. It's not gonna do this, Sean. Now, I forgot to tell you this earlier, so this is probably my phone. This boat runs on fuel and cheers. So the louder you scream, the faster we can go. So who's ready for a speedboat ride?